Good morning.
Hey, Lisa. Sorry, trying to
Oh,
get my
hi.
act together here. There we go.
Voila. And we have Rebecca's on here. How are you this morning? Are you in the office, Bill?
No, not yet.
It's a messy day.
Yeah.
I'm in the office. It was a good day to stay home though. So
Well, yeah. I'm doing some client deliveries today and tomorrow on my drop-offs, and I gotta really map this out so that I can.
be efficient.
Well, yeah, they're all over the place.
How many pies do you have?
We're actually
Or
Gina
something?
makes fudge. She does homemade fudge. So
Okay.
she packaged those up real nice. So that's what I'm doing. It's we're probably doing about 30.
Yeah, that'll be a busy day.
Yeah.
Welcome, Rebecca. Welcome, Walker. How you doing? Do you guys want to turn on?
Good. I'm driving. I'm dropping kids off at school, so I'm going to be muted.
No problem at all. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I know we have the Walker. Are you coming to the pie party tomorrow?
No, I'm not gonna be able to make it to the pie party.
Okay. Well, that's too bad. I mean, even if you had an hour to stop by and see how it's going, it would be good. But
Well, what does it start? Is it 2:00?
3 to 7.
3 to 7?
People
Okay,
there
okay.
early.
If it's that long, I might be able to come by.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just stop by and kind of check out how it happens, so you know for next year if you want to do it. And it's such a great touch. So it's really great. This morning here we have 4 of us. Anybody have something specific they feel like they want to work on? There's quite a few expireds. If I don't know if people have noticed.
Yeah, I have noticed that. And actually, do you want to speak to that, Lisa? Your insight about all the expireds?
I think a lot of them are close to the city. I mean, if I had to bunch them up, I'd say a lot of them are in the city. And we had an open house Friday, Saturday, and it seemed like 98% of the people were from South Boston. So it was a house in Milton. So it seems like people are kind of floating, trying to get out of the city because they don't have to obviously commute as much as they did before. But, expireds are always happening. There's always a reason. I mean, there's sometimes people just want to price their house too high. They have, reasons for expiring, and it's easy to turn those around.
Right.
It's, getting in front of that client again to get you the business.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to kind of analyze what is it, perhaps maybe some overly aggressive sellers that really thought that the market was the sky's the limit, and then they came to reality saying, no, you still got to price it correctly.
I think you're right. I think that's probably what it is, because I mean, there's no other reason. I mean, it really should be easy to sell right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I call an expired, part of it, my conversation is just that, I can't understand any reason at all why a home would not sell in this current market.
Right?
The sellers have 100% leverage.
They do.
And then, so I'd like to, and then the script would be, I'd like to better understand what it was that prevented your home from selling in this
Right.
crazy, seller's market.
And are you doing them? Are people actually calling expireds?
Yeah, Walker, are you calling on those at all?
I haven't been yet, but the FISBOs and the expires are definitely the scripts I'm
looking
the
for 'em?
most interested in for
Yeah,
sure.
because
Yeah.
they're like raising their hand. They're like, I want to sell my house. And I'd say
Mhm.
an expired is easier than a for sale by owner because an
Mhm.
expired, usually they had an agent, so they understand they want to have an agent.
Mhm.
So, and I loved this one. Success isn't how far you got, but the distance you traveled from where you started. So when you're new in this business, it's not like, okay, I've sold 50 homes or whatever. It's just start from where you are. And who's this? Carol. Um, so I think I should maybe try and find some expired scripts and go over it. Is everybody good with that?
That sounds perfect. Yeah.
I know Bill had a great, he went last week on an expired listing, right?
I had one lined up and the woman, she's an elderly woman. She ended up having to go in for a treatment or unexpected treatment. So we had to bump that, unfortunately.
Here are some powerful closes for expired. So a lot of times we start with expired, we're just trying to gain rapport. But I think if you really work on these are real powerful questions. So Walker, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Before you get yourself tied up in a month to month. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Mhm.
Do you want to do the first two? And then I know Rebecca can't do much. How about it? Can you do the first two? And then Carol, if
just
you
jumped
do the
on.
next two?
Okay. Yeah.
And Bill, you
Um,
want
so-
to do number 5?
Okay. Hold on. I'm just going to zoom in a tiny bit.
Oh, sure. I'm trying. Let me see if I can do that. If I can. There you go.
That's it. Perfect.
So yeah, before you get yourself tied up in a this multi-month thing here, is that like with this, like,
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't remember what, a month contract of thousands of dollars.
Well, so in other words, like a realtor wants to sign a listing contract, and they're going to need like however many months on that
Yeah.
contract.
so basically before you get yourself tied up in some lengthy contract for thousands of dollars, don't you think you owe it to yourself to get just one more opinion? All I need is 15 minutes. Let's set an appointment today, kind of thing.
Perfect.
Okay. And I know those pauses are important. All I need is 15 minutes. Let's set an appointment today.
Exactly. Exactly. And then you might be thinking to yourself, and don't get in your head about, oh crap, what am I going to tell them in 15 minutes that will convince them? Don't get caught with that in your head. Once you're in the house or, you're meeting them, it's always going to be a little longer than 15 minutes and they won't even notice.
Oh,
But
I
I
know.
don't know how other people felt, but I used to feel very anxious about that. Like, I have nothing to say in 15 minutes. I don't even know what I'm going to say in 30 minutes. It
I
seems
used to do stand-up comedy and I would have to fill 15 minutes on stage and I'd be like, how am I going to do this? And then I'd go over. So like, I know what that feels like.
That's awesome. You got to do that for us sometime.
We'll see. I might. I've done it for some companies in the past, like that I've worked for. But I really have to get to know everybody before I can really let loose on something like that.
Oh, I can't wait. That's exciting. So, do you want to read number 2? I know it's really short, but
Why did your last agent say your home didn't sell?
it's such a really basic question. I mean, why don't we sometimes get to that instead of talking about the weather or what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Why did your last agent say your home didn't sell? Just like, boom, give it to them.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry.
well, I just have a question going into this, just to be ready for these kind of questions. What is like a typical answer that somebody would say to that?
They're probably going to say, I don't know, or the agent didn't do anything. So
Yeah.
I'll give you that. So you ask me and I'll let you know.
So why did your last agent say your home didn't sell?
Well, I don't think they did anything. I didn't, they had terrible pictures and, I'm sure it wasn't the price. It was definitely the agent.
Oh, so you think the way they marketed your home, like what, they took poor pictures, they didn't take anything, like did they do absolutely nothing and just put a sign out, or?
You can just go straight to that next line.
Okay, just go straight to it. I go,
Straight-
that's funny. While your agent was making excuses, I sold 14 homes. All I need is 15 minutes of your time. I'll show you how I do it. Which would be better? Was this a time like
Yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that?
So it's
Yeah.
like, don't even go off script, just go boom, right to the script. I mean, until you can get it down that you're just sticking to that to get them,
Mhm.
get the appointment, because we all think of
Yeah.
lead generation, oh, talking to people. We should turn it into the word getting an appointment.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
you know what, Lisa, that question, number 2, I used on an expired phone call, and I asked that question, and his response was that they had the home on the market during summer months where a lot of people are on vacation. So people really weren't out looking at homes because they're on, summer vacation or whatever. And we were talking, and as he was doing that, I went into MLS and I looked up that period of time in Weymouth when what had sold, and I was able to look that up quick enough so that my next response is, well, interesting that he said that, because what I'm seeing here while your home was on the market and not getting a lot of activity, 53 homes in Weymouth sold. So
In reality,
I don't know if I agree with his assessment of people being on vacation.
that's awesome.
More conversation and getting the listing.
That's awesome. Carol, do you want to do the next 2? Number 3 and 4? You
You're
can't-
muted.
You're muted.
Why do you think some agents sell a lot of homes while others don't? That's exactly why we need to get together. I'll show you exactly why I sold 7 homes while yours was on the market. Let's set an appointment today. Are you familiar with the definition of insanity? I mean, instanting?
You're right.
Insanity, yeah.
That
Doing
is
the
a weird question, though. Yeah.
I know, it seems it's very bold.
Very doing the same things over and over, but each time expecting a different result. Your home didn't sell the first time, did it?
Mhm. And all these numbers of how many homes, you can just use the ones that we get every week from Keller Williams. I'll show you exactly why we sold 20 homes while your home was on the market. So don't be afraid of use the stats if you don't have any.
Where can we find the stats?
Every month, every week they come out on the Market Center 735. They show every week how many are under agreement, how many sold, and how many new listings just for our Market Center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So just
So-
go to the Facebook and then it will show up.
Yeah. Is there anywhere else, Bill, that that those numbers are?
Well, I mean, I bet you could probably pull a report based on the office,
Yeah.
in the prior week. So out of MLS reports, you could pull up that number.
That might be, just if you want the slides every single month. We had a team meeting last week, use those slides too. Those have great numbers.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Bill, do you want to do 5?
Sure. So
It's just-
Lisa, I sold 6 homes while yours was on the market. Do you want to sell your home?
Yes.
Okay, then you need a different approach. So let's set an appointment today.
Sounds very genuine to me. So these are the closes. Now, when you're making the phone call, we got to figure out how you're going to get to those closes. And I think going to a really good basic script that you can use pretty much on everybody. You can use it on a for sale by owner. You can use it on, let's see. Where are we? A lot of commission reduction ones. Everybody try to really internalize those commission reduction. If you look at what it is at a 4% and something at a 5%, you're leaving so much money on the table. Really work on that. I had someone from New Jersey reaching out to do scripts the other day. I told them to come on to here. So hopefully, you can find people all around the country to do scripts with you. Oh my gosh, where is this? I have a lot of stuff on here.
Hey, Lisa, while you're looking that up,
I gotta figure out.
I just went on MLS and just real quick, so I just looked up total sold market statistics for the past month for our office. And in terms of listings, there were 50.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing. So, you use those type of stats. There's some, I mean, what we do in a month is like more than people do in a whole year in some brokerages.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
20 million in volume.
Wow. There's powerful closes. I'm sorry, this is taking a little bit longer. I should have put something else up this morning. This is like the best video that everyone should watch. The Power of Communication by Jim Rohn. Excellent, excellent to listen to. If you just click on it, it'll go to YouTube. That is, this is what we do. We try to, we communicate with people. So if we don't have good communication skills, sometimes it doesn't even matter if you have the listing. They might be frustrated with your lack of really good communication throughout the listing. We hear that all the time. Well, my agent never even called me to tell me what was going on. So, I mean, that's like a really, it's terrible. People get a listing and they put a sign in the yard and I don't know what they're doing, but you need to start making sure you stay in touch with your client throughout the entire thing. I did see an expired, but I don't think it's the one I want. I'm sorry. This is very slow. But there's a ton of content on here you guys can use, whether it's even, a buyer consult, things like that. Ugh. Everybody should have one of these. Anybody make one? It's a script board. All your scripts inside little plastic, clear sleeves, and then you put them on a board. And when you sit down to do your calls, these work awesome. So we have a couple of people, we each made our own, and you sit down, you put that in front of you. If you just don't know what else to say or how to close somebody, it's right in front of your face. You just search around and find something to say to close it. It really makes such a big difference to have them in front of you. As much as I do scripts, I have those in front of me all the time. And okay, I guess that's one, but expired script over the phone. Here's a real basic one. So this is really basic, but I think it's good. And I think another thing people think of is, oh, they heard this before. There's so few people that are actually making the calls and doing this. If you talk to anyone who basically started in this business, if they didn't have a big sphere to start, expireds is really the way to go. That's how I did it. Expireds was my first go-to when I came on with Keller Williams. So I know there's a few people on here. Who wants to start with this? I know that you were looking for it, Walker. Do you want to start with this and somebody else is the homeowner?
Sure.
Okay. Who wants to be the homeowner? Give them just a little bit of trouble.
I can
Gary,
pick the
Matt,
home.
Carol?
Vanessa.
So who am I with?
I can do it. Matthew.
Matt? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm looking for Matthew.
Yes, this is Matthew.
Hi, Matthew. My name is Walker. I'm with Keller Williams. I'm sure you figured out that your home came up on our computer as an expired listing. And I was calling you to see if, when you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home.
To be honest, I don't think I really plan on interviewing agents anymore.
Oh, really? Well, why is that?
I'm just not really sure what I'm going to do at the moment. Just kind of taking a break.
Oh, so now that it's expired, you're not really interested in selling it anymore?
Walker, if you could just be on number two,
Just go 1, 2, 3, just write down it.
just go right down. No matter what somebody like, most of the time, you'll be surprised that no matter what they say, you can stay on these questions
Okay.
and you won't sound, it doesn't sound odd to the person on the other side.
Oh, okay. Uh, if you sold this home, where would you go next?
Plan was gonna go out west, like to Utah or somewhere out in those couple states there, or Arizona maybe. Didn't have any specific plans.
Oh, that sounds exciting. That's uh, how soon do you have to be there?
No rush really. I'd like to be there, I guess, before next summer, but
Mhm.
not in a huge rush.
Okay, well, Matthew, what do you think stopped your home from selling?
Honestly, I think it's partially the agent and partially just the market. It's winter, it's a bad time to sell, and people don't want to move now. It's the holidays.
Okay, so you think it may have been the agent? How did you happen to pick the last agent you listed with?
It was someone who was recommended, highly reviewed online. I just a couple passed, but my friends used them as well. Oops.
Oh, okay, great. What did that agent do that you liked best?
They did a great job, I thought, with staging and taking photos. They made the place look really clean and nice, and I think it showed very well. That's one of the things I think they did pretty well.
Oh, okay, nice. Is there anything that you feel they should have done that they didn't do?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they really were communicating with me enough. I didn't feel like, because they only did a few open houses. We had a good amount of people, but after that, just kind of slowed down after the first couple of weeks, and
Mhm.
they didn't really talk to me about what was going wrong. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't really want to put it back on. I don't want to waste my time again.
Mhm. What will you expect from your next agent?
Well, I'm hoping that it'll get more activity and eventually an offer, and at least tell me what's going on. If something's wrong, I want to know. I feel like the agent maybe didn't want to tell me why it wasn't selling, and that's why I kind of took a break.
Mhm. Have you already chosen an agent that you want to
By
work
the
with
way,
next?
No, like I said, I haven't really thought about it yet. I don't even know if I'm going to put it back on at the moment, and so I haven't really looked into that.
Oh, okay. 'Cause honestly, I would like to apply for the job of selling your home. Are you familiar with the techniques I use to sell your home?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you're kidding. What would be the best time for me to show you? Monday or Tuesday at 10 a.m.? Does that work for you?
So yeah, so is there a way you can do it without coming over? We're just kind of having people over for the Thanksgiving's coming up. So can
Mhm.
you just do it like we do a phone call or something, or is there another way you can
Yeah,
kind of explain it to me?
yeah. I'd really like to do something that would, I'd prefer a face-to-face meeting, but if we could do something over Zoom or FaceTime or whatever works best for you, I always like to see the person I'm talking to. But yeah, we can set a time. 10 a.m. works for me, Monday or Tuesday, if that works for you.
Yeah, for Zoom. I mean, Zoom call's fine. I can do 10 o'clock on Tuesday. That works.
Well, perfect. Yeah, we'll set that up.
Excellent.
Okay.
See, and so no matter what, I mean, even if you get some really tough ones, if you stick to the script, you at least get to the end.
My internet, it's like it's
I'm sorry.
unstable.
Is that Matthew?
Yeah, Matt, your connection's a little tough this morning.
And I was saying, if I was cutting in and out, my internet is
Oh, okay.
yeah. I can tell. Because I'm using my computer because I don't have my iPad. My computer's super slow. They got too many tabs open. But I will Maybe I'll just listen for a minute because I figured
Sure.
something out on my computer.
Mine's doing something wacky too myself. Where did it go? Um, I think we should do that one again if I could find it. My goodness. What does everybody feel about that particular script?
I think it's pretty good. I feel like it kind of extracts the information we need. I think it gets the person you're calling to kind of really analyze, really think about who they hired and what did they do? What kind of job did they do? I like the starting with the what did they do well and what did they not do and what did they do poorly or
Right, because then you actually know what it is that you need to do to make the difference. What, oh, the poor communication, you're like, oh crap. So now I know when I meet with this person, communication is important to them.
Mhm.
So I think,
I also noticed that Matthew made it sound like it was like, oh, I don't want to list it again. It seemed like it was almost like a pain in his ass. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like it shouldn't be if you have an agent. The agent should be taking care of everything. And it should be, I mean, yeah, you got to sometimes vacate the house for it to show, but there shouldn't be too much that you're doing.
right, exactly. You just prep the home and, the agent should take over from there. But I must tell you, with expireds, you have to be very sensitive because they're embarrassed.
Mhm.
If friends are saying, why didn't your house sell? They're like, they feel super insecure about that feeling because usually they love their home. So you have to be kind of sensitive to that fact. Wouldn't you, anybody else who's worked with expireds, do you find the same thing?
Sometimes they don't want to answer certain questions.
Oh, yeah. They just want to get off the phone. So if you go through this again, I mean, Bill, do you want to go a little tough here? Do you want to do a script back and forth?
Sure.
So, because I know you do a lot of them. If you want, would you rather be the homeowner or the agent?
Oh, well, when you said, do I want to go tough? I figured you wanted me to be the tough homeowner.
Okay. So I'm going to try, I'm going to stay on script, but he always gives me a really hard time, but I think I always learn too. And when he does that, so.
It's not because I don't love you, Lisa.
What's that?
It's not because I don't love you.
Well, thank you. I won't take it personally. Hi, I'm looking for Bill.
Yes, who's calling?
This is Lisa with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm sure you figured out by now your home came up on our computer as an expired listing, and I was calling to see.
Yep.
Um, When do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home?
Interesting question, Lisa. I actually don't have any immediate plans to do so.
Okay, well, if you sold this home, where would you go next?
We were actually going to basically move to our Cape house. We have a second home down in the Cape.
Excellent. How soon do you have to be there?
Oh, well, I don't have to. I mean, we have the home. It's a second home, and we were just gonna, eventually sell this place, and then that's where we were gonna move to. But I'm on no timeline to do so.
Okay, well, Bill, what do you think you stopped your home from selling?
Gee, I don't know. You're the expert. What do you think?
Well, I'd like to come by and take a look at it with my own eyes. And what would be the best time to show you? Monday or Tuesday at 3?
Yeah, well, so we're, like I kind of said, we're really not under the mindset at the moment of selling the house at the moment. We gave it a run and didn't get sold, as you already pointed out, but we've got Thanksgiving and holidays and all that. So we're going to reconsider selling probably in the spring.
Well, Bill, how did you pick the last agent you listed with?
It was my wife's friend.
Great. So what did that agent do that you liked best?
What did she do that I liked best? I don't know. I think she hired a good photographer. I thought the photos came out really well.
What do you think they should have done?
Well, ultimately, I think we should have sold the home.
Well, what will you expect from the next agent you choose?
Well, I mean, as I said, it was my wife's friend, and we told her that let's just take it off the market for now, and maybe we'll maybe revisit in the spring. Uh, we kind of have a certain connection with her.
Okay, well, I understand that. So you really don't owe her anything, and you don't owe me anything, but you do owe yourself the very best. So wouldn't it be nice to just talk to another agent and have a different opinion? I can come over on Tuesday for, at 3 o'clock, and I'll take just 15 minutes of your time.
I mean, I wouldn't want to waste anybody's time, including yours. I mean, it'd be kind of awkward if, we went with a different realtor at this point. And, I hear what you're asking. You want to come take a look at the place because you'd like to get the listing. But I don't know if we'd be in a position to switch up.
Well, it's important for you. It's like financial surgery. So if you were going to have a doctor's, let's say you needed surgery and you would go with two opinions on having surgery at least. I'm guessing. And the same thing happens here with your home, but it's financial surgery. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's an interesting spin.
Okay. Well, I would hate for you to end up with a weak agent at a weak moment. And so if I just come over and take a look and show you what I do, are you familiar with the techniques I use to sell homes?
I have no idea what you do.
You're kidding. Well, what would be the best time to show you? Monday or Tuesday at 3?
All right, so Lisa, you're as I said, I just want you to know, I hear what you're saying, but you want you to know that I can't commit to anything with you. I mean, like I said, we have this relationship with our current realtor, so I just don't want to disappoint.
Wow. I know it's been what it's like to work with family and friends. So, I could do this for you. We could create a way that she gets paid as well as us when we sell your home, because it is a commission. We can actually share some of our commission with that agent, but you can keep your relationship and not confuse that with a business transaction, because selling your house is really a business transaction. Would you agree?
Yeah, it is. I guess I'm not clear. So in other words, would you be able to let her continue to list the home in the spring, but do you have a buyer that you'd bring? Is that what you mean?
No, I could list the home. I could give her a referral fee when you sell, and you can keep your relationship. Sometimes when it's a friend or family member, they may not be honest with you.
Mhm.
And that may be what had happened with the first time you were on the market. Maybe they weren't honest with you about what the feedback was. They didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the case or not.
So why don't I come over on Tuesday, take a look around so you don't end up with a weak agent at a weak moment. And what we can do is plan for the spring, and I can keep you abreast of all the things in the market. And if we do have some off-market property or off-market buyers that are looking, I can let you know. And this way I know what your home looks like and do a preview.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Sure, that's fine.
Okay,
Can
Tuesday.
you
at
make
4?
it, earlier in the morning, actually?
Absolutely. Is 8 o'clock too early?
Yeah, like 9:30.
Okay, 9:30 on Tuesday.
Okay, yeah, and it's basically just so you can come take a look at the home, right?
Correct. Yes, I'll take a look at the home. Sometimes we have buyers coming up and I can let you know if this might fit a buyer. But honestly, I want to make sure that you're positioned so that when you go back on the market, your home gets sold, not expired.
Mhm. All right, fair enough. Sure.
Thank you. I tried to close them and close them and close them, you know. Um, so even before I get to the end, if you can just close someone before you get to, oh, what would you expect? If you can just go to a powerful close and you get them closed, why not? And they say ask at least 5 times. So if you have like 5 pens, put 1 pen down when you ask the question, put another pen down when you ask the second. So you go in for 5 times and, you know, you're going to get pushback and people are going to think you're obnoxious, you know, and you might say, well, you do want a bulldog like me, right? When it comes to selling your home.
Yeah. So what, guys, did Lisa sound obnoxious, or was there anything that you pulled out of her scripts that that you could relate to, or what the comments about it?
Well, I
I
definitely
just have,
thought that yeah.
No, go ahead.
the sharing the commission thing, because I was like, how are you going to get past this? And I know you don't want to destroy any personal relationships, but then that line was huge. And I know that's a last ditch effort that you don't necessarily want to do, but you already probably tried about 3 times to close. And then that was when Bill kind of, like this might be the best of both worlds here. That was huge. I know you don't want to come out with that right out of the gate though.
Mhm. Yeah, you
and
can
I
give a
did notice-
25% referral fee, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I had a question.
Hmm.
I heard, just like in the back and forth conversation, I haven't done any of these. I'm very, very new, but would you like, when you're trying to set up that meeting, would you request that, it sounded like from the conversation, his wife was the one that was friends with the other agent. Would you request that his wife be at that meeting as well, so that you had a chance to, because she, I think, would be the deciding factor?
correct. So there's another script that will come after this. So let's say Tuesday at 9:30, I have this appointment. I would myself call and do a pre-qual and try to get a little more information and try to, you know, make sure both people are present. Now, they're not super serious. I would still go if they were not present, because it doesn't sound like he's going to list right away. And I would try when I get there, but even if you just get face to face, you can give some information. It's getting in the door, really. But it would be better to know everybody's there and you can help them make a decision. So there's a pre-qual on here. It's a pre-qual script, which is awesome. You talk about how much they think their house is worth, how much what's the price they won't go below. Will all homeowners be present or decision makers be present?
I have a question, because it's expired. Can you can't use the same pictures that they used at the other agent. You have to have your own pictures, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
They own that. That's their property.
Yeah.
And do you guys normally hire someone to take pictures, or do you take your own pictures?
Hire every single time is professional.
Yeah. I used to take my own and I thought I did pretty good. But then when I started hiring somebody, I'm like, wow, I don't have the proper lenses or lighting to do this correctly. And, that's actually one of my pet peeves. Sometimes I'll see a listing and it's like for over $500,000 and it's so obvious that the realtor took the photos, and it's sad that a seller would accept such service.
It is the saddest thing ever. It's so frustrating. You see something like that and let's say that expired. So that's the easiest thing to fix. Give great photos, put some floor plans, or at least some people don't put measurements on the MLS. They do a really crappy job of presenting someone's home. We get paid a lot of money.
Sure.
I mean, we get to the closing table. Sometimes you feel like it's minimum wage because they've bugged the crap out of you forever. But mainly we get a pretty big fat check at the end. So, we do have to upfront some money and there's no guarantee that's going to close. You have to have faith.
How much is it? Because I looked at some and it looks pricey.
It
What,
can be.
Photography?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on who it is. Like the last guy I hired, he actually made my property look much better than it actually was. He was phenomenal. He also did the virtual walkthrough, like the 3D walkthrough. He created a website, a link for all of that, and it was like $400 for his whole package. But on a $550,000 close, and 2.5%. I mean, $400 is just a minimal cost of doing business.
And you don't necessarily have to do, especially when you're new, you might have like reaching into your pocket can be tough, right? So just do the photos. Just make sure it's professional photos. You really do, because if you go in and work with a cell phone, oh my God, I'm going to beat you out every single time. I mean, it's just going to be so easy to prove that it's important to list with me.
Yeah. On the low end, like I have another photographer, she'll just do photos and she does a good job. She charges like 120.
Yeah.
120 for like any type of home or like a certain price of a home, like under 500?
It doesn't matter the price of it. It's just she'll do maybe 20, 25 photos, inside and outside photos.
And it depends, they might ask you, what's the square footage of the home? I mean, if it has 4 bathrooms and 6 bedrooms, it's gonna be more money. But if it's like a 3-bedroom cape with 1.5 baths, it's gonna be less money.
Okay, so depending on the bathroom and bedrooms.
The size of the house, basically. And every, you know, everybody's pretty much, they're like us, they are independent, so they'll decide. You might ask them ahead of time, obviously.
Okay.
But you gotta measure your rooms, you gotta have a full, you know, robust, multiple listing, you know, to put out there. So I find you have to have your measurements, you have to have what's in that room. Does it have a ceiling fan? Is it recessed lighting? You know, what, you need to have a robust MLS. It's important. And right now, it probably, things are selling quickly. It's not as maybe, you know, you don't have to have those things because there's a lot of buyers. But if you don't start right, you're going to get really lazy. And then when it's really difficult and the competition is high, you know, you're going to find it's like a lot of work. So do the right thing every single time.
Okay. That's really good advice.
I mean, right now it's somewhat easy to sell a home, but when it gets tough, if there's a shift and you're like, oh my gosh, I never put you know, I never put all this full information, it just do it right every time. And honestly, have somebody look it over. Spelling, you know, misspelling, you know, things that you may not, you know what to do with or what to write. And
Lisa, where is I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
go right ahead.
Where are you? Where are all the scripts? It looks like you posted them somewhere, but I can't really see.
Yeah, so we have a a Facebook site called Lisa Axios Scripts and Tips.
Okay.
And then I put some up here. I wish I could make it a little easier, but they're on here, and there's also some videos and there's some mock buyer presentations. Now, I'm sure everybody's working probably with a buyer. Is everybody using agency, like using a contract with your buyer? Yeah. Anybody else?
I'm literally like a week and a half in here, so I haven't worked
Okay.
with anybody yet. I'm just.
Okay, and you know, I would just say people need to make sure there's a great one on here that you know, really speaks to the value of having a buyer agent. And you want to have a contract and make it really professional, have a great consultation. That's really important. They can go anywhere. Why should they pick you, right? So on here, Rebecca, right? Is it Rebecca that was asking the question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's another thing here, right now, like Gary Keller said, you know, he did a study about cold calling. You know, people are afraid to pick up their phone, but that's where you're making the money. It's really like your little cash register. In here, it gives just a breakdown. So 50 real estate agents made 6,264 cold calls to areas that hadn't been prospected. It showed for every 209 calls made, one listing appointment or referral was made. That might sound like a lot, but if you do 100 a day, that you're going to get 2 appointments a week. And if you can maintain that for 50 weeks a year, you're going to be on 100 listing appointments in a year. And so imagine even if you got 25% of those, you'd have 25 homes, right? And every listing is probably going to bring in a buyer. So break down those numbers so they don't seem so intense. 100 dials every day. Start, I mean, it sounds daunting. But if you do, well, yeah, so it's about 100. If you do 10, you talk to 10 people a day, you're still going to get something. You really will.
I have
So,
one more question. I get a lot of telemarketer phone calls on my phone, so
Yeah.
a lot of times I don't answer numbers that I don't recognize. Do you leave messages when you're doing the cold calls? I have no problem cold calling. I just don't want to leave a message and then have them ignore me because they don't want to talk to me.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes it depends on how efficient my day is going to be, but I've had people call me back and when I've left messages, listed their home and sold them and never even met them. So one guy lived in Florida and it was his nephew that listed his house. I gave his nephew a referral fee and I got the listing because his nephew was a terrible realtor. And then another one, this guy, he had a house in Plymouth. He called me back. I had no idea who I had called. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know who this is. I had to go through all my lists to figure out who he was. I was on the side of the road and I had to mail everything to him. He didn't have email. Everything was mailed to get signed and back to me. And it was expired listings and I got it sold and I think it was like $500,000 on that one. And the other one was just about 500,000 too. One was in Braintree, one was on the water in Plymouth. It's shocking. You're like, I don't even know them. I didn't even meet them. And I got their listing and I sold their listing and I didn't even meet them. And it's like amazing you can do that.
Yeah, I know. I think when you're making these calls, if you get an answering machine or whatever, voicemail, I think it's a good idea to leave a message. Be brief, but to the point. And I've gotten callbacks. I was doing a circle dial around a recently sold home, and somebody called me back from a message I left on their home answering machine, and ended up getting the listing, but also even helped them purchase a home. So
From a phone call.
yeah, from a phone call, leaving a message.
So here, Rebecca, there is one on here. It says, should you leave a voicemail? And it's a leaving of a sales follow-up voicemail. So how to do it. It's a 5-minute video. You guys see that one?
Yes.
Listen to that and see what kind of tips you can get out of that. You can't call and go, hi, I was just calling around your neighborhood. You have to like stand up and be enthusiastic. And sometimes it's like, hi, I have a question about your house at 123 Main Street. I just had a quick question. Could you give me a call back? You don't have to leave much more than that. They're like,
Yep.
oh, maybe this is a buyer,
Right.
So I know we ran over and I hope everybody got a little something out of this. On Wednesday, I will be here and then I hope I'm going to see some people at the pie party. I hope Walker, you can stop on over. I know Barry's going to be there. Anybody else on here is going to be at the pie party
I'm
tomorrow?
going to pop in, Lisa. I'm going to be out and about, but I'm going to stop in.
Good, awesome. I'm
Yeah.
excited. It's going to be fun. Probably a traffic jam. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I think you should all have a powerful Monday. Make those phone calls, reach out to people. Even if today you just want to go through your phone and reach out to everybody and say, hey, I just want to know, I want you to know, I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Why not? Right?
Yep.
I think, this is a good week of just calling the people in your life and just
Yep.
saying that you don't need, there's even scripts for just, you can go online, Mike Ferry scripts, and find something for people you know.
Yeah. You know what? I've been making these calls, Lisa, to my database, and just like you said, they're just check-in calls. How's everybody doing? We want just to wish you well and show you, happy holidays, whatever. And you don't even have to bring up business because they'll do it. They'll automatically just say, how's real estate been going? And,
Oh, yeah.
and they usually close with, as always, Bill, if we know of anybody, we'll certainly refer you.
Exactly. And I mean, I called people and I said, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be ready till February. I apologize. I said, I'm just checking to see if you got your pie invite. What kind of pie do you want? And they're
Mhm.
like, oh, we'll take the blueberry. Okay. So,
Yeah.
it's amazing. They're like calling, they're like apologetic. I'm like, it's okay. I'm not calling about your house. I'm calling about, the pie. So the other thing, if you have people in your life that are going to be home alone at Thanksgiving, or, it's a really tough time of the year as things get cold and we have this pandemic possibly getting worse, right? Just check in with people, people who, might be struggling or maybe need something, maybe drop something at their door. I just think it's important. I posted on my homepage, my home Facebook, the We Are the World song. You remember that from years and years ago? I
Oh, yeah.
love that, right? So I posted that this morning and it was just like, but that's when everybody could be together, right? Ugh, drives me nuts. But think about that. People need each other. It's the most important thing. And just a reaching out to anybody is great. It's part of our culture. So let's stay in culture and, let people know we're thinking about them. Have
Absolutely.
an awesome day.
You too.
All right, thanks, Lisa. Good job.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Lisa.
Wednesday.